So right now we have a good base for this map, but unfortunately there is not much context to it. So anybody outside of this class is not necessarily going to know that we're looking at Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and all this information. Within this QGIS example, I already have it defined out that this is in fact Shenzhen, and you might want to add these labels throughout here. So this is in similar fashion to what we did with the points. You just add that layer in, and then what we're going to want to do is have TileMill read that and display the information out in the embedded map. So we're going to bring that file in, PRD major cities. And we're just going to separate it out. Unfortunately, yeah, so we have our point right here, and it's only coming in as point data, which is not really helpful to us. It just looks like noise from our previous visualization. So what we're going to want to do is identify which field we want to use as our labels. So name in English, I'm going to copy that. The next, we're going to want to start building out our labels for these markers. So in order to do this, we have to first identify the layer we're going to want to use. So we have PRD major cities. So this is the stylizing. Now I'm going to build my information for the labels. So I'm just going to go through these one by one. So the text name that we're going to identify is our name in English, which I took from my categories. The next we're going to use our face name, which is our font. Feel free to use whatever you want. This is all that is available within TileMill, but for our purposes, we're going to go with a nice boring Arial narrow. Text size. Oh, sorry. See, it's purple because I forgot to close it. Text size 20. And now you guys already see how kind of simple this is. And this is not something I, sort of wrote and thought up of myself. You can take this stuff you can copy and paste around from the previous examples. And it's useful because not only the ones that they have on the projects page, but also to the ones that are documented online. Because a lot of people have done cool stuff with this. Text halo fill. Text placement, this is important, so you can offset it from your point, but for now we're just going to leave it there. Then our placement style, which we're going to leave as simple. And then, of course, close it off. And already we have, there. Nice, so it's already showing up here. It's a reasonably good size. That's something that you're going to have to mess around with. As you see, based on what zoom level we're at, that information or the size of those tags are going to change. And there is a default setting in right now. So let's say if we want to change our zoom factor, it's fairly straightforward. All you have to do is identify which factors that you want it to change at. So Right now, I'm going to say that we're going to be looking at this map from, let's say, from 9, and then our closest to, let's say, 13. This might not work well legibly, but let's say, for example, that at zoom, less than or equals to 11, we want our text size to be 20. Actually, let's make it bigger than that because it's already at 20. So now we're at 10, and we see that this is showing up actually a little bit too large. When we zoom in, it's still a little bit oversized, so we can keep going down and down into this. So zoom equals, let's say at 12. We want it to be a little bit smaller. Would be text size 15. Sorry, you need to add these semicolons in here as well. All right. So the nice thing is that whatever I'm doing in stylizing with text, points, and lines is that they basically all apply to each other. So what I just did with this text information, if, let's say, you want to have a different zoom factor for this point data, it's already doing it quite nicely, so I don't want to change it. But you can use those zoom factors to change the size of all this in order to get a very sort of legible map. And see, the last thing I want to do is get rid of this marker width. Just change it like 0.00001. Alright, so that's pretty much gone. Another nice thing you can do with this, so I know with one group that you guys are making like custom icons, you're using those pie charts. And let's say, for example, that instead of using either points or vectors, that you want to bring in your own icon or your own like sort of visualization tool for this information and link it to a marker or however which way you want. This is actually kind of simple in TileMill, although it has some limitations. So for this example, I'm just going to turn off our lines and nodes for now. And let's say, for this guy that instead of I want to have text at each of these, I want to have like a picture of a man or something. So for now, I'm just going to comment all these guys out, and comment is a little bit different in CSS. It's 2 forward slashes. So in order to get an icon ready to use, first thing you have to keep in mind is that this is going to be published on the web, so there's a specific format for using image files, which is an SVG, so it's a scalable vector graphic. So the reason that you have to use that is that they are quite small, and they can be easily compressed and as well as encoded into XML. So if you have like a very large icon, it's going to be difficult to use in this, as well as difficult to scale within TileMill. So for these purposes, I am using, let me get Illustrator started. I'm going to use this little man. So for any vector, you can just open it up into Illustrator, and then all you have to do is just do a simple save as SVG. And the trick here is that when you're saving this out, you're going to want to save it within the project folder that you're using in TileMill. So I'm not sure exactly how to change this just yet, but it can be easily found. You just go into your documents, and then Mapbox will have a folder there, project. For here I have it as, so for each project you have, it will create its own separate folder. And for this guy, I'm just going to make a new folder called icon, and then save your SVG in that folder. Click OK, that should all be good. Close it out. And so for each of these markers, they're not showing up right now, but it's relatively easy just to add this in. So at the bottom here, within this line of information, I'm going to say point file, and we have URL. So this URL will basically be the Mapbox project folder that it created. I think I need to show you. And then the only thing that you're going to have to add is the name of the folder that you put it in, as well as the name of that file, .svg. Oops. All right, so if I save this, it didn't work. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to reference something else real quick. No, it shouldn't be. Oh, I think this is it. All right. So this has to be, I didn't see it before, but I believe this has to be at the top. And then just to locate this, I'm going to turn my lines back on, as well as the country. It's kind of annoying. It always zooms out to its max extent, so it takes a little bit while to get back in and search the project. Yep. All right. So now we have giant dudes instead of cities. But you know, obviously we wouldn't want to ever use anything like this, but I'm sure you guys know there are like, you know, dozens and dozens of little web graphics that you can use and import into this to, you know, really identify whatever it is that you're outlining. So let's say, for example, if you're talking about restaurants, you can bring in coffee cups or whatever you want to do, even if it's that cheesy. But it's quite nice that it allows you to use all this and that it can be further published on the web. But we're obviously not going to use something like this, so we're just going to uncomment this all out for now.
Could you use like a separate icon for each point, individual point?
Yeah. The way you would do that is, similar to our previous examples, is identifying each field and just adding onto that your point file.
And the icon won't have background color?
No, I mean the color you have to change in Illustrator. But yeah, it's fairly simple.